Good morning, everybody. It might be a Saturday morning here in London, but the coffee morning presented by Lavazza still rolls on, doesn't it, Rachel? And my goodness, what a day it was yesterday here at Wimbledon. If you had centre court tickets or if you were sat at home watching the three matches on centre court, you were treated to three superb matches, all of which featured a player who had never played on centre court before. And all three of them ended up winning. So well done, Ons Jabeur, well done, Seb Korda, and well done, Denis Shapovalov.
I love that you keep saying what a day we had yesterday. What a day we've had all week, guys. I mean, it's day
amazing,
6
yeah.
and it's been excellent, especially after the fact we didn't have any tennis last year, of course. But yeah, you just spoke about the guys doing awesome things on their debut on centre court. And I'm going to say under pressure as well, because we know Coco Gauff mentioned that she still gets nervous, a 17-year-old, when she goes out on centre court. And I'm going to say that the pressure was really kind of ratcheted up a notch yesterday, because we had the Duchess of Cornwall as well, Cambridge, in the Royal Box.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that kind of put a little bit of pressure on a lot of people performing out there, but not for the youngster from Canada, Denis Shapovalov. He kind of exceeded expectations and possibly made some maybe enemies out there on TikTok, because he knocked out a popular person in SW19 for British fans in the form of Andy Murray, of course, Danny.
Yeah, although it is funny, isn't it? The crowd, I think, really did end up getting behind Shapovalov by the end. I think they appreciated the tennis that he was playing, but it was an extraordinary match. The young man, he's only 20 years old, isn't he? Shapovalov, on his centre court debut, he was excellent, and there was a lovely moment at the net, wasn't there? We saw them come together at the end of the match, shake hands, and there were a couple of words spoken between the two of them, and Denis was asked on his on-court interview, what did you say to Andy Murray there at the end? And it was really nice. He just said, well, I just told him he's my hero. And it's this respect that the young generation have for these old-timers, I suppose you should call them now, it's really nice to see.
Yeah, he said, I'm not even really thinking about Andy Murray's results, just what he's doing right now as a person, as an athlete, overcoming what he has done in the past couple of months. But Andy Murray then went on to say, is it really worth it, was his answer to kind of, he's been putting so much effort in, hasn't he, over the last 3 months or so, and I think he wants more than what he achieved here the third round, Danny.
Yeah, but I think that speaks to his character, doesn't it? The resilience that we've been speaking of. He didn't just come back from this injury that nobody's ever really come back from before. He didn't just come back just to, be given a wild card and turn up and take some applause. He wants to win it, and that's the desire that I think he's showing and blazing a trail for the young people who are coming after him. They have to really ape to get to that level.
I think we've also been just loving the post-match interviews as well.
They've been so good this week, haven't they?
Yeah, the Djokovic one after he defeated the American Dennis Kudler was equally great. John Inverdale, who was doing the on-court interviews, said to him, I was sitting in the stands with some family friends from when you were a youngster, and they kind of asked the question, where does he get kind of his drive and motivation to continue at this top level? And his first answer was, it comes from my genes. And then he kind of talks about how he had a difficult upbringing in the 90s with his family, and losing was never an option. It was always about his desire to win. And then, go on, you tell us about
I love this
his
line.
time in the mountains with the Wolves. What did he say?
He basically just said, well, I spent a lot of time growing up in the mountains with the Wolves, and he called it his wolf energy. Which is a fantastic phrase, which I'm going to be using for the rest of the year, I think. But I think you saw it come out, was it the second set that he won? And he let out this guttural roar. It was very wolf-like. But yeah, it was absolutely awesome, wasn't it? Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not a lot of memes actually flying around social
there'll
media.
Be a few.
We'll have to find some, won't we, at the moment.
Yeah.
But let's have a look at some of the epic action that we saw yesterday here at SW19.
What a point to finish with. Unbelievable defence again from Djokovic. Kudler just threw everything at the world number one. That's a lovely moment right there. What an effort. But Djokovic keeps the dream alive. It is a straight sets win, and if you're thinking of a Grand Slam, 17 now out of 28. Terrific match, Tim.
Great match from both players. Kudler gave it everything he had. You can really hear that He had that crowd on his side.
Well, Djokovic safely through, and I'm joined by another guest. Danny's jumped out, and Pete Odgers has joined us, commentator and tennis expert. Pete, nice to have you back. You were here, I think, earlier on in the week as well. We've kind of wrapped up what happened so far yesterday. Let's go on to today, because some pretty epic matches. Should we start on centre court?
Why not?
Let's
Best place
go
to
there.
start, isn't it?
Let's go. Federer taking on Cam Norrie, and I like the fact that when asked about, do you think the support will be behind him, he was like, well, I hope so, because I've had 20 years here on centre court, and Cam Norrie is a relative newcomer to the greens here.
Yeah, it's a really strange matchup, isn't it? Because of that. You think a Brit in England
Should have all the support.
Should have all the support, but no, I think it'll be mostly for Federer. But it's a fascinating matchup. I love this because I was actually having a debate with another commentator.
Okay, go on.
Okay, and so Arvin Palmer, he was saying, oh, well, Federer will come through because he'll get lots of rhythm against Cam Norrie. Because Cam Norrie doesn't hit a big ball. But I was arguing, no, I think he won't get much rhythm because Cam Norrie hits two completely different shots. He's got a really flat backhand and a really spinny forehand. So if he can really unsettle Federer, he may have a chance. He's got a good chance, I think.
And Cam Norrie's physicality, which he's been working on, do you think he can kind of play kind of longer points that Federer might struggle with?
100%. I mean, it will suit Cam Norrie if he can get the rallies to go as long as possible. And as you say, he is one of the fittest guys on tour. He's such an athlete, Cam Norrie. And so that gives him so much confidence. He's won so many matches this year. I still think he'll believe, even against Federer on centre court. It's just going to be a case of whether he can deal with that pressure, because it is another level. But, I mean, he is one of the fittest guys. I'm a Cam Norrie fan because he's just a humble, good guy. We've
got a backing, I'm sure, of everybody here as well. So we'll see how he goes later on. Let's move on to possibly a very entertaining matchup as well. Felix Auger-Aliassime taking on Nick Kyrgios. What do you make of that one?
Well, they're completely contrasting people. First of all, you've got Nick Kyrgios, who I'm not sure how much he loves tennis. He's been quite open about that. Complete entertainer, maybe doesn't take care of everything off the court that he should do in terms of maximising his ability. Whereas with Felix Auger-Aliassime, he's a guy who literally will do absolutely everything off the court. He's like very contained. He's a very calm, polite, lovely young man. And yet they're going head to head. But one thing they do have in common is that they're both brilliant on the grass. They've both got huge serves. So I think we're going to see a lot of flashy winners, but it will be really entertaining. And the last time they met, by the way, 7-5 in the third, and it was on a grass court as well. That was to Felix Auger-Aliassime. So maybe Kyrgios can get revenge today.
Well, maybe, but Kyrgios is also talking about the fact that his body's really hurting at the moment. He's played now, hasn't he, 4 matches in 4 consecutive days, and he said he doesn't feel like he's in the same physical form he was in when he got to the quarter-final in 2014, I think it was, on his debut, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just hasn't had the matches this year. He's barely played a tennis match this year, and I also chatted to another commentator who did his first match against Humbert, which was that dramatic long 5-set win, and I said, oh, how's he feeling? Is he going to be all right for the next round? And he said, don't think he will. I think he's really struggling. So he's then got through another round. So yeah, I think that could be a factor. But he's got such a huge serve. If he can just keep landing the first serve, then it doesn't really matter about the rest of his game. He can just keep going to tie breaks and maybe nick it.
Maybe. But let's talk about, we keep talking about Andy Murray and his metal hip. Let's talk about Taylor Fritz and his recent surgery here, Pete.
Absolutely astonishing what he's done. As in, I mean, I can't believe he even was out walking, let alone playing tennis. And when he tweeted before the tournament saying, oh, I'm hitting a couple of balls on the court, I thought, wow, that's so impressive. But I thought he must be just walking around hitting a couple of balls just for show.
But doing it.
No, he's now in the third round of Wimbledon. Like I don't know what's happened. He must be maybe robotic all over, to be honest.
Well, he's cut out fizzy drinks and fatty food, I think. And he was saying actually hasn't been a struggle, and he's avoiding the sweet cut in the bubble.
I mean, that's a very Djokovic line, isn't it? In terms of the reason I've got great fitness is because I eat some prunes and things like that, which, but it's a good way of going about things.
Prunes are very good for you, Pete, and sushi if you're Andy Murray. Cilic, obviously a finalist here as well, taking on Medvedev. That's going to be a classic on court 1, I believe. Yeah,
maybe not too many long rallies there. Medvedev, another one. I love watching the guy, as in such a character. He can be a bit emotional, up and down, and so Cilic may well be able to frustrate him, because if Cilic gets his first serve going, not going to be too many rallies, as I say. Very flat strikes. You never know with Cilic, former finalist here, but you have to favour Medvedev with what he's done recently and, being such a top-ranked pro.
How far off is the Cilic of 2017?
It's a really interesting question. Last year I would have said a long way off, but he's just started to pick up a couple of good results coming into this event, and confidence is everything with a player like Cilic, because he's got such a big game, and so if his confidence is low, he doesn't really feel it, and he starts questioning himself. Whereas recently he started to pick up some big wins, and so his confidence is getting back there. He loves playing at Wimbledon, so if he feels good on the court, he's got a chance.
And finally, someone's confidence will be very high is the Brit. I'm sure you'll be wanting to watch her, Emma Raducanu. Are you going to watch her as a fan, or are you working on her match?
I'm not working on her match. I will be going to watch her as a fan, of course, as a Brit. Love what she was saying. She said Wimbledon's like a holiday for her, which is like for everyone, but I think that's the best way to approach it, because we're always told, well, lots of sports psychologists and lots of coaches always tell their players in the big moments, enjoy it. Yeah. Go out and enjoy it. And she's obviously got that attitude. She loved the crowd support the other day. Can she deal with being on such a big court? That's the big question. But, I mean, she's got the game to win. So, who knows? Fingers crossed as a Brit.
Totally. If you relax and you enjoy it, you're going to go far. Pete, thank you so much. Go and relax and enjoy it as a fan. Can't wait to see how your day goes. We'll see. Well, I guess we're going to speak to you next week. We hope so. We hope you come back and join us here on the Coffee Morning. Well, yeah, get your coffee. And I think, actually, I'm going to give you this as well.
Thank you very much.
Such a great guest. Okay, well, Pete goes and enjoys his little cake. Here are the shots of the day from yesterday.
Wonderful variation and a sumptuous drop shot to finish.
The advantage you have if you hit a slice backhand is that you can disguise the fact that you're going to hit a drop shot. Perfectly disguised there. Goodness me.
An incredible return.
Some quality on display on court one.
This was not a bad second serve from Stevens, but Samsonova just handles it above the shoulders.
Oh no, that is ridiculous. One of the shots of the tournament. And Fabio will just have loved it.
Is unbelievable in just the second game. You're already getting great shot making.
You are allowed to go around the net post. There wasn't anywhere else she could go.
Oh, too good. Touche, right back at you. I thought Muguruza's reply was excellent. We're with terrific anticipation and feel.
That's fantastic. You got the luck on the complete miss-it return. Could chase this for a week and not get there. Well, it had a little bit of everything, that rally. The ball hitting the line, hitting the net cord, having a miss hit, but at the end of it all...
Very entertaining for the crowd. Had a little bit of everything, didn't it?
Oh, wonderful stuff from Dan Evans, pegged back, but never giving up and finding the winner.
Absolutely tremendous shot from this position to get enough on it, having to slice it.
Well, Danny is back with us now. And Danny, do you like what I did? I gave Pete a cake so he'd come back and join us next week.
Absolutely. We're not above bribery on this show. We're not above bribery.
Well, thanks for coming back. Great shots of the day from yesterday.
I only came back, so I want a cake afterwards as well.
Well, you'll get one anyway. Let's talk a little bit more about what happened yesterday, because you mentioned it. Centre court had some absolute crackers, and a little bit of history was being made as well, wasn't there?
Quite a lot of history. Ons Jabeur becomes, not only she was the first Arab woman to win a tournament just before Wimbledon.
WTA title,
then she was the first one to make it into round 3. Now she's the first one to make it into round 4. She's made the second week of Wimbledon and beating Garbiñe Muguruza, who a lot of people I've heard this week, you know,
one to watch, tipping her, weren't they?
Maybe thinking that she could be the one to do a bit of damage, but it's so open on the women's side of the draw this year. I mean, Ons Jabeur, why not? She's playing really well at the minute, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, and I think she's openly as well said that, you know, she's looking to go as far as the semi-final. I mean, why put a little bit of a stopper there? Why not say I want to make it all the way to the finals? But yeah, we mentioned as well, didn't we, that she did it in front of obviously the Duchess of Cambridge. So, I mean, yeah, great to do it in absolute style, making history. I'm sure she's inspiring a lot of other females around the world as well.
So.
Let's go to someone else who's been inspiring females throughout her career.
Yeah.
Venus Williams was in action, wasn't she, yesterday? Not on singles, though, mixed doubles with her new partner, Nick Kyrgios. And let's talk about what happened, I guess, on social media afterwards, because obviously action on court is always exciting, but it's actually kind of what happened, not during play, all the moments surrounding the match were the most entertaining, weren't they?
I mean, they had a real buzz going. The queues to get into court were very long. I walked past the court just before they were about to go on, and you could tell that there was a buzz around the place. It was similar to when we had, what did we end up calling them? Surandi? Was that the portmanteau for Andy Murray and Serena Williams 2 years ago? Something like that. It was
Saturday, mine's gone, sorry.
But it was a similar kind of vibe to when Andy Murray and Serena Williams teamed up a couple of years ago. And yeah, when they were on the court, they were just ever so entertaining. And then right at the end, I think Venus went for the high five and Nick blanked her entirely, and then he spent most of the evening apologising profusely on social media afterwards.
He said, I didn't realise, didn't he? He said, if I had known that Venus, the absolute icon, was waiting for a high five, of course he would have reciprocated. But he did actually then go on to tweet their partnership, the caption, iconic, meaning the two of them. And I think he just said as well, Venus spent the entire match laughing at him, not because he's hilarious, because of his accent as well. But then he went on to say that I think actually he's obviously quite a character usually. She made him a bit more cool, calm and collected on court. So I actually think this is the winning partnership. And he's also gone on to say before, he wasn't really bothered ever about winning a doubles match. I think possibly that mentality has now changed. Surely he wants to be a champion here with Venus Williams. That would be a story.
Well, it's amazing what the prospects of a trophy can do to desire, isn't it? I think you never know. I mean, if they end up winning it, what a story that would be, eh?
Let's talk about, Danny, what else we got to do yesterday, because we partnered up on the Wimbledon channel as well, and we absolutely were joined by a legend in the form of Stan Smith. He came out to join us, and he was kind of alluding to the fact that 50th year, it'll be 50 years, next year, of when he got his Wimbledon title here in 1972. And I kind of said, have you got anything special lined up? He said, you'll have to wait and see. So he was very much teasing us, Danny, but it was great to have him out with us, wasn't it?
He genuinely might be the coolest man that I have ever met, Stan Smith. He's amazing. And if you think he's been going for, how long? 40, 50 years he's been making the shoes? I mean, I can't lost count of how many pairs I've had. Same with you. And he was wearing some Disney vibe ones, wasn't he?
He was wearing some Kermit the Frog ones because he's got a new collaboration going on there as well, all about sustainability. And we also asked him if he's a big tennis fan, so he said, absolutely am. We asked him where he was going to go yesterday, and he said he was off to centre court to support the American Sebi Korda, because he's great friends with his father, Peter Korda, as well. So I'm guessing he was possibly sitting in the players' box there, having a great experience and watching him go through as well.
Would not blame him. Now, there's lots of stuff going on yesterday. The sun was out, which was fantastic. That certainly is something we've missed today. For other things you may have missed, there's plenty of colour around and about the grounds at SW19, including one gentleman you're going to see in this next little piece. If you're not from the UK, you might not know who he is. Look him up. It's 90s fitness legend, Mr. Motivator.
Essential day for the sun cream today.
flat-footed.
Advantage, Muguruza.
That sounded awfully like a champagne bottle popping.
Breakfast of champions.
Can you turn on your phone?
Ladies and gentlemen, can you please switch off your mobile phones? Thank you.
A slightly more polite interpretation of what Rublev was saying.
Well, some of those occasionally make the highlights reel. That one won't.
Is there a lowlights reel?
Any ketchup? Any mustard? What do you, Colin? What are your preferences when it comes to hot doggery?
Definitely with you. There's onions in there. Just ketchup for me. Never understood that combo, mustard and ketchup.
Well, a great entertainer. Oh, the point of the match by far.
Oh. If you hadn't have said, Danny, who that was, I wouldn't have recognised him. I recognise him from his Lycra days, of course,
not
from that jacket.
Yeah, but there's a dress code, though. He's in the posh seats. You can't wear Lycra in there.
I know, I know. Guys, we've obviously mentioned it's 50% capacity this week, so unfortunately not everybody can be here this year. But if you're not, I would probably be ordering what we're about to see.
Yes, if you can't be here, why not eat like you're here anyway? And you can get a Wimbledon picnic at home. Somehow, neither of us got the call for this. We sent Jenny Drummond to try one out.
The weather hasn't been brilliant so far in the 2021 Championships, but the sunshine is certainly out and about today. It isn't all about the yellow tennis ball on the court. It is crucially also about the food. Of course, not everyone can make it down to SW19 to watch the live tennis, and if you can't, you can certainly order one of these fabulous at-home afternoon tea hampers. I have the menu right in front of me. As you can see, it's already open because it is sprouting with delicious items. Let me run you through them. Let's start with savoury, of course. We have this beautiful granary loaf here. To go with that, beautiful smoked salmon and some posh pickle maybe mixed in with that. A little bit of bread, a little bit of salmon. On top of that, savoury continues with the cooked ham. And of course, you can't have cooked ham without some strong English mustard. Now that's savoury done. There are 3 courses here. That's course 1. Course 2, scones and accompaniments. We have a plain and fruit scone. Let's have a little look. There we are. And of course, to go with that, you get not 1, but 2 clotted Cornish creams. Don't know how you do your scones. Do you go cream, jam, jam, cream? Depends where you are, of course. And here's a raspberry and vanilla jam. Then we move on to the afternoon tea cakes. So this is a selection of a lemon tart, pot, a profiterole, little cake, and of course, chocolate and orange ganache. And it wouldn't be a Wimbledon hamper without the classic strawberries and cream. How good does that look? If you can't make it to the tennis, definitely order one of these at home afternoon tea hampers. I tell you what, I'm gonna get stuck in.
So jealous of Jenny getting to do that. She didn't bring any of that food back for us either, did she? We'll have to make do with these muffins, I suppose.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, we're not really missing out here, Danny, are we?
True.
But I wonder if Jenny has actually met the dogs here at SW19 yet. She's got to do all the cool VTs, so she probably has. But talking of the dogs around here, let's have a look at how the search dogs of SW19 help the smooth running of these championships.
My name is Mark Mills, and this here is Wraith, who is a search dog. The dogs are here to enhance the local security during the duration of the championships here at Wimbledon. Our dogs can be trained to search for anything, whether it be cash, narcotics, firearms, but he's specifically trained for explosives here for these 2 weeks. You could use another breed of dog, but we tend to use the Springings and the Cockers and the Labradors because they seem to have the best nose ability, the best work drive, the play drive as well. I've only had Wraith for a short number of years. He's only 2.5, something like that, but he's a lovely dog, really pleasant animal. And in terms of rewards, play, strokes, cuddles, anything that your pet dog would do at home. The use of dogs is magnificent for the championships. They work quicker than us. They're far more efficient than we are. If you were to see him off lead, searching around here, talking to the public, you'd see that he really, really enjoys his job. You wouldn't get the drive from the dog if they didn't enjoy doing it, and he certainly enjoys it.
I remember meeting a puppy in the early stage of his training a couple of years ago, and I was petting him, and I don't think I was possibly allowed. Anyway, let's go from dog theme to...
Dog theme?
Yes. Yeah, we're not going tennis, we're sticking with dogs for now. Danny, when you think corgis, you usually think of royalty, don't you?
Yeah, but you maybe don't think of tennis skills, as we're about to prove. One that we met very much has those skills.
Yep, pretty big skills there. I didn't actually expect that, so I like that corgi has skills as well. Let's go from skills to an actual job as well, because we just mentioned the sniffer dogs around here, SW19. They also have other skills as well, very useful skills, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, not only are they helping the smooth running of the championships, they're also retrieving balls, as the Wimbledon Twitter call it, when it goes into rough terrain. Excellent punnery there as well. We're a sucker for anything dog, aren't we?
We are indeed. I wonder if those balls go to the resale queue. I'm not quite sure. They might be a little bit, slobbery there.
You'll know where it came from.
Again, Danny, obviously we're here to talk about tennis, but we're going to put a hold on that even more because we're going to continue with the dog theme, because so many of you Wimbledon fans out there are also fans of dogs, and you've been tweeting in your pictures of your dogs getting involved with the championship as well. Well, I'm not really sure if this dog's involved in the championship or just watching the owner take a picture of him. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think Sydney the sausage dog just seems to be posing there, not actually watching the tennis. That's a shame. Turn around, Sydney. There's some great action going on behind you there. That was a theme, really, wasn't it? Look at Winston. I presume that's the dog and not the owner. Loving the tennis, he says, but he's looking out the window.
Yeah, he is looking out the window, obviously not concerned with the action there. And neither is this dog, Walt Quisney World. Absolute planet sleeping through this.
How did he manage to sleep through Andy Murray?
I'm going to say it was the one taking on Oscar Otter, which was almost 4 hours. That's why. It was a long match. Fair enough, right?
Yeah, well, Cara, the corgi, she seems to be awake at least, but also not watching the tennis. What's going on with the dogs of Wimbledon this year?
Waiting for their owners to take them out on a walk because these matches are going on so late into the evening. But this border collie here, Basil, is very much looking at the action. I'm going to say, Danny, that's because he's watching where the ball goes. I'd love to see it if the dog's head was going from side to side, watching where that yellow ball was going. If your dog actually, guys, at home is doing that, we would love to see that. So maybe send us in a little video or a picture using that hashtag #Wimbledon thing. We'll try and get those shown on here on Monday.
Oh, we'd love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. We're almost out of time, though, unfortunately, this morning, because we're rapidly closing in on 11 a.m. That's when all of the players start walking out to the courts and play begins on the outside courts here at Wimbledon. We're off to go and do some Wimbledon channel stuff. You can follow that on the Wimbledon app. You've also got Wimbledon Radio to keep you up to date with everything that's going on all day long. I'm
also going to go and watch Emma Raducanu as well. Pete said he was off there. I'm intrigued to see if she can go further than what Annabel Croft did in '84, because so far this is as far as a female on their senior debut has got, which is the 3rd round, because Annabel Croft in '84 got knocked out in this round to Chris Evert. So let's see if Emma can go even further. But Danny, that is it. So I'll see you on Monday. We'll see you guys on Monday as well. So for now, goodbye. Danny, I definitely feel